Vale. Y ya que diferente.
Buena suerte.
Igualmente. A favor.
En contra.
Vale. Eso. Buenas tardes. Nos encontramos en la final de este torneo de debate educativo en inglés. Se enfrentan los equipos del IE Palmeral a favor y el IE Carlos III en contra. El jurado de este debate estará formado por Rafael Villegas Martínez, Juan de Dios Pavón Caballero y Azucena López Valverde. Les recordamos que la pregunta sobre la que se debate es la siguiente. ¿Son las redes sociales una amenaza para la sociedad? El reloj del cronómetro será puesto en marcha en cuanto empiece a hablar cada orador. Le indicaremos cuando queda 1 minuto señalando con el dedo en alto. 30 segundos levantando los dos puños. Cuando queden 10 segundos contaremos con los dedos hacia atrás. En caso de que el equipo contrario levante la mano para hacer una pregunta y el orador no lo tenga a la vista en ese momento, levantaré la mano para avisarle. Por favor, pongan en silencio sus móviles. El debate va a comenzar.
Good morning, everyone, members of the jury, public, and opposing team. My name is Isabella. Sorry. Okay. My name is Isabella, and today with my team, Ford of Maite, Ricardo, Isabel, and Alfonso, we're here to defend in favor the next question. Is social media a threat for society? To answer this, we must analyze its terms. A threat. What is? Sorry again. Okay, a threat. What is a threat? A threat is a person or thing that is likely to cause trouble or danger. Social media is an online platform that allows users to create a profile, form communities, and communicate through our images, messages, or videos. These include Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And last, cyberbullying, which according to UNICEF, cyberbullying is an online abuse throughout social media or messaging to humiliate or intimidate. This includes spreading lies, sending threats, and even using AI for harassment. In response to the question posed, our thesis is that yes, social media is a threat because it takes us from distraction to destruction. We will defend our posture with three fundamental arguments. First, an educational one, an economic one, and one related to health. Why these three? Because according to the United Nations, the three pillars of a society are education, economy, and health. If social media affects negatively in these three areas, then social media does indeed pose a threat to society. Our first argument, dopamine over discipline. This argument will discuss how social media affects negatively in education. We will analyze its impact on attention, academic performance, and critical thinking, showing why social media is a threat. Second argument, expensive click. Here we will show how social media hurts the economy by lowering productivity on businesses, increasing healthcare costs, and taking away government resources that could be used for growth. And last but not least, our third argument, scrolling into darkness. This explains how platforms spread hate and cyberbullying by creating a harmful space where negativity grows. This leads to anxiety, depression, and stress, affecting mental health. As I said, with our three arguments, dopamine over discipline, the expensive click, and scrolling into darkness, we defend that social media is a threat because it takes us from distraction to destruction. Did you see how I could get distracted by my phone every time a notification popped up? This is what social media does. It takes us away and pulls from what real matters. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want you to imagine the next situation. Imagine your boyfriend invites you over to watch a movie. Everything looks fine, everything looks perfect, until he, all of a sudden, starts threatening your whole life while pointing you with a gun. You don't know what to do. Panic stricken, you manage to lock yourself in the bathroom. Meanwhile, he's shouting at you, telling you are going to die. And you don't know what to do. You believe you are going to die. Until you remember something, your phone. You grab your phone and you send a message on social media. And thanks to that message sent on social media, you are still alive. This could look like an unreal story that would never happen, but it happened. And it was Amy Wilson's reality. Thanks to the quick spread of that message, she is still alive. This shows how social media is essential when it comes to emergency situations. This social media make the difference between life and death. Would you choose between life and death? Good morning, opponents, judges, and my team. Today, our team strongly disagrees with the motion that social media is a threat to society, and we are going to explain why. Our point of view will be defended by Marina and Diego as the refuters, by Irene as the conclusion speaker, and by myself, Maria, as the introducer. We also have Marta, who is the documentarist, and will be taking down some notes. Our arguments will be divided in three main points. The first one, the social media as a powerful tool for social activism and protest and giving voice to minorities. The second argument will be basically the professional and economic opportunities. And last but not least, the third argument will be humanitarian aid and support for crises such as the one that happened in Valencia with La Dana. Now I want you all to imagine how would the world be without social media. The world would be in silence. There would be nothing. The world would be limited to raise awareness and fight and call for help. Would that be a safer society? Is giving people a voice and having tools a threat for society? No, social media is not a threat for society. And if we believe that, perhaps what we truly fear is not technology itself, but the power it gives to people. And to end my intervention, I want to conclude it with a quote said by Martin Luther King. He said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." And that, people who are listening, is what social media is trying to fight against, the silence. Thank you all for listening, and I wish you good luck.
A step backward in education and economy. It is getting worse over time. If social media is not a threat, how is it possible that our society is experiencing such detrimental setbacks? As Sean Parker said on October 4th of 2021, social media is created to be addictive. And for that, social media leads us from distraction to destruction. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maite. I'm going to be the first refuter of Paul Medal's team. I'm going to be presenting our first arguments, but before, I'm going to be refuting some of the things that have been said. First of all, it's about society. You just mentioned one single case. And first of all, there are more effective methods like calling 112, etc. And also, the second argument I will be contrasting it that the businesses are affected negatively. And with this, I'm going to explain my first arguments, explaining how the little benefits that social media gives us is not going to be contrasting with the negative parts, such as mental health, which is going to be an argument that the second refuter is going to talk about. But before, I'm going to be talking about how dopamine goes over discipline. Social media is changing how we learn, but not for the better. Studies show that these platforms negatively affect students' focus, memory, and overall school performance. As this said from Hussein Davis on the 10th of May of 2024, as we all can see. It creates FOMO, trigger anxiety, creates EDs, And also the third argument that is about mental health. Here it talks about cyberbullying, how 44% of all internet users in the United States said they have experienced online harassment. Thank you very much. Social media is designed to be addictive, as I said before, taking control of the brain's dopamine system and making users crave instant rewards. The consequences for education are serious. Reduced attention spans, students struggle to stay focused for longer periods, lower academic performance, constant distraction, weakened study habits, and a decline in critical thinking. Quick, simple contents replace the deep analysis and problem-solving skills. And for this, I have something from addictioncenter.com that talks about how digital addiction will hinder a nation's peaceful development for smooth functioning. So, as you guys can see, another one. Okay. Learning requires discipline and patience, but social media encourages the opposite. The constant need for likes, notifications, and quick entertainment. Yes?
Do you think that different applications and websites, like for example Duolingo, can actually help our development and learning during our life?
So you think that using an app is more useful than having a teacher explaining things to you? As I said, it creates an addiction and you don't need to be on your phone the whole time. Okay, now I'm going to be starting with my second argument. The expensive click. As you guys said, it helps businesses, but I'm going to be explaining here how that's not true. Following this evidence from true lawsuit, it has an impact on employees' focus and efficiency. And as you can see on the fourth page here, decreased productivity, increased healthcare, legal liabilities, and reputation damage. I don't think that's any good for any businesses. And also, lower productivity, as you can see here, is from the same evidence. Economic implications of digital addiction at the micro level can cost to the nation at a macro level, so you guys can see what it leads to. Okay, the serious financial problem will only get worse unless the rules are made stronger. Social media is a root problem. Social media leads us from distraction to destruction. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Diego, and I'm here to explain with facts why we are convinced that social media is a positive tool to our society. Well, I want to keep developing on one of the arguments that Maria mentioned at the end, and it's that social media is actually a really powerful activism tool. Of course, social media leads to organizations to be able to reach a much larger audience and to break down social and geographical barriers. As an example of this, we have the Ice Bucket Challenge in 2014. We tend to forget that it actually was an activist campaign, but actually it was made to fight against the ASL illness, and it managed to found $150 million with over the span of 6 weeks. Please?
If it reaches such a wide audience, that means also hate can reach such a wide audience, right?
Of course, but what we are trying to focus is on positive things and positive changes that we can make to our society thanks to social media. An article from the University of Texas points that social media is extremely powerful tool for activism because of its widespread attention. And teacher of journalism and media of that same university, Gina Musolo, points out that social media made movements like the Black Lives Matter or the Me Too movement possible with the spread of the information. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that social media works as an immense megaphone and a platform for those who want to manifest against injustices all over the world. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the economical opportunities that we can find in social media. Social media, as we know, is an immense showcase for products. And I'm sure that every single person in this room has been biased to buy a product because of social media. As a survey by Wunderman Thompson states, 82% of the world population have. And by 2023, two-thirds of the world population had bought a product in social media. As examples of this success, we have the Stanley Drinkware brand, which actually managed to improve their revenue from a solid $73 million a year to $750 million in 2023 after it went viral on TikTok and Instagram.
Why just buying products by social media? But what does this have to do with it is not a threat to society?
Well, it means that actually it brings us a huge opportunity economically, and it makes the market flow, and it always leads us to consume products, to make products popular, and this is a huge economical and market opportunity. Moving on, other franchises such as Old Spice had also managed to improve their revenue 125% all in 1 year, thanks to smart and eye-catching campaigns. Finally, this huge economical opportunity arises with the need of specialized professionals, like, for example, digital marketers or community managers, who play a huge role interacting with audience and creating engaging campaigns so that public engage with the products and actually consume it. And of course, the most wanted profession, influencers, who have the labor of entertaining people in many different ways and creating content that can inform people, can teach people, and can simply entertain people along video games, videos, etc. Because of this, we actually think that social media is so positive to our society. Thank you for your time.
We are experiencing such a critical moment in which social media is pushing people to the worst, more depressed, anxious, and addicted people, or even people who commit suicide. If social media is not a threat, how is it possible its members are undergoing such horrible experiences? Social media leads us from distraction to destruction. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ricardo, the second refuter of Palmeral's team, and before explaining our third and last argument, I'm going to refute some of the key points made by the opposing team. Firstly, you have asked my partner Maite about Duolingo. Firstly, Duolingo is even considered as social media, or is just an app that you can learn a language? Why is it not considered as? Why is it considered social media? Can you talk with others? No, it is not. So then that is not valid for this debate. Then you have talked about movements like Black Lives Matter and activism, but this shows how in 2016, elections in America were manipulated in Facebook. People were manipulated to vote for another candidate. So if social media is so good for activism and democracy, how can you explain this? Then you have you are barely refuting us. You have barely refuted our Maite's arguments. Why? Because you know that in this debate, social media is a threat for our society. Maybe you can buy products, but that doesn't mean that it is not a threat to our society. Or what? Is buying products more important than people who are committing suicide, like these two girls that killed themselves because of social media? No, it's not. You cannot compare things when one is way more important than the other. From now on, I will develop our line of argument. It is undeniable that social media leads us to communicate with a greater number of people or enjoy ourselves while we avoid our own real world. However, doesn't this have a terrible impact on our well-being? Of course it does. In 2024, one of the best universities in the world, the increased use of social media is intrinsically linked to the risk of depression, anxiety, psychological distress, or even suicide, reaching the conclusion that it does not help at all individuals. Then we have cyberbullying, which has caused the death of people like Molly Russell and Hannah Kamura, like my evidence say. Nothing, no income can come first before humans. We might see in this article of MediaPost in 2021 that almost 60% of social media users say that social media harms people, coming to this conclusion. If even they are sure that they don't do any good, how are you going to defend them? In addition, the officer in 2023 says that social media are full of echo chambers, whose purpose is to show people information, videos, advertisements, or opinions that they share and like. Firstly, social media uses our private data to manipulate us. And on top of that, this makes us less thoughtful and disrespectful towards others' opinion because of being always exposed. Yet you say they are not a threat to our society. Throughout this debate, we have demonstrated by our educative, economic, and health arguments that not only is it a threat, but something we want to eliminate if we want that society comes first. Having said that, I think it's pretty clear who is right in this debate. Social media leads us from destruction to destruction. Thank you for your attention.
Judges, opposite team, audience, thank you all for being here with us today. First of all, I am totally against social media being a threat to society, and so is my team. My argument will be heavily focused on the humanitarian aid that social media provides during catastrophes like natural disasters or tragedies like disappearances. Imagine that your grandfather with Alzheimer's gets lost after forgetting the way to his home. You try to look for him by putting up his picture around your city after reporting him missing. But eventually, these pictures fall to the ground, the wind breaks them, people won't even stop to look at them, and the police close the case. On social media, the reactions are way more immediate. This is because social media has way more impact on people than a paper on a wall. When someone goes missing, you need to act fast because the person's life could depend on it. Time could really make the difference between life or death. Yes?
But social media doesn't prevent death, it only causes it, right?
No, because sometimes social media can help by getting more people to look for that person. Yes?
The case you have talked about is a real case or just an imaginary case?
It's a story, but later on in my argument, I will talk about real case that happened. So, as I was saying, um, when social media, the reactions are more immediate because even when you don't look for this post, it will appear on your feed. And as I was saying, time can really make the difference between life or death. In the New York City News Service, a member of the police says that before they before they put up pictures around or anything, they post that person on social media because they know the diffusion that it will have. So, moving on to natural disasters. We all know that natural disasters result in a lot of tragedies. And on social media, we can find a lot of useful information that will be very, very important in the case of an actual disaster. And it could save lives. For example, what shelters to go to in case you have to go to one for whatever reason, what supplies to buy. Yes.
You say in your answer that social media prevents sometimes death, but sometimes it's because there are few.
Can you repeat?
Yeah,
Sorry.
because you say that social media sometimes prevent death, so there are few times.
Yeah, but there's few times in everything in life that we do. We can have deaths from anything. Like, for example, natural disasters, not only social media. And if social media can be used to prevent those deaths, then it is a benefit and a really important one. So, as I was saying, you can also find ways to secure your home from disasters like hurricanes or floods on social media, and it can be easily found in just a single search, and it could save your own life in case of an actual disaster. Think of when the Dana happened. We all know there were a lot of tragedies, a lot of people were missing, and I know the case of a family of four that was found thanks to social media. Why, you may ask? Because a member of the family posted them and someone recognized them from that post and alerted the police, and that's how these people were found alive. This is why I said what I said about having to act fast. So there were also a lot of campaigns that were started on social media. These were very, very important because they offered help to those affected people in need. Some of these campaigns were free psychological help, school material, gifted furniture, and there were also volunteers to clean the streets. And this is all really, really important, and social media is helping save lives. Thank you.
Reality doesn't change just because you ignore it. Philip K. Dick. Good morning, I'm Alfonso Sanchez, and I will be the final speaker, and I will explain why my team got a better point as we see the reality as it is. First, I will introduce the points for and against, and then I will go over the other team's arguments, and finally I will recall us. Today, both teams have agreed that social media has a big impact on us, and lots of people use them. However, they expose that social media are marvelous, but we say it is a danger and a threat. But let's see how they defended the ideas and the thesis that we couldn't hear it and we couldn't understand your thesis and introduction, but we hear your arguments. And you talk first from an argument of social media is a powerful tool for activism and inspire movements that can reach more people. But what did my team say to you? Well, they say that there are good movements that you say, but there could be some things like manipulation. There can be movement like my partner Ricardo say of democracy, that these movements are worse than the good one that you mentioned. Then you introduce a second argument about economical opportunities for buying online easier and good for companies. But what did my team refute? They refuted your argument with or another economic argument that I will recall after. And finally, you posed another argument about the support increases as the data because they made a fundamental draw sometimes. Showing no evidences, as you say, a case from the data, but you didn't show any evidences of these cases. And what did my team refute it? Well, they explain all the arguments. You cannot compare a few advantages of social media that you present because they present so many dangers on people's life. And then I will recall our arguments for the last. Well, we bring our first argument talking about society, and we say that there is a lot of dopamine, and we explain that social media has a negative impact on scholars. Then we say an economical one, and we talk how much does company pay because of them. And then we defend a health argument. As we can see, social media has increased mental problems such as suicide. And now, I want to recall some of your mistakes that you say that Duolingo was social media, but you didn't show any evidences that it was social media. And yeah, you didn't have any evidences. But remember, we're still on time to save society. We don't need this. We don't need social media because remember or Tracy, social media brings us from distraction to destruction. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to point out that Duolingo is a social media because in this you can make friends and also people can follow you. I would like also to sum up the arguments of the opponent team. They first talked about dopamine over discipline, then they talked about expensive click, and finally about scrolling into darkness. Even so, we understand your point of view. There are much more advantages than disadvantages, as I'm going to explain you later. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Irene, and today we have explored the concerns surrounding the use of social media. But I stand before you to prove that social networks are not a threat to society. In fact, the arguments presented by my team show that social networks are a tool for social empowerment, economic growth, and humanitarian support. Firstly, social media has revolutionized social activism, giving voice to minorities and amplifying movements that might otherwise go unnoticed. From the Black Lives Matters movement to the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, online platforms have mobilized millions, raising awareness and money from important causes. Secondly, social media has opened the door to new economic and professional opportunities, from small local brands to global franchises. Now, every business has access to a worldwide audience at little or no cost. Finally, in times of crisis, social media has proven to be an essential tool for humanitarian aid and support. When governments and official organizations fail to be there, social media steps in, organizing donations and finding missing people, for example. In conclusion, while we understand that the misuse of social media has its risks, we truly believe that the benefits outweigh the dangers. The real threat is not the social media itself. It is the refusal to recognize its potential for good. It's in our hand to shape it, to use it wisely to harness its power for positive change. Social media doesn't weaken society, it drives it forward. Thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you for things. We're going to deliberate, and in a few minutes you'll get the result. Thank you very much. Pero tío, que eso había
Francisco Alonso Martínez, que es nuestro delegado de educación, la máxima autoridad en lo que respecta a educación, que tiene gusto de estar aquí para entregar los trofeos, los premios. Vamos a empezar por el que ya conocemos todos, ¿no? El de francés. Pues si quiere venir la profesora acompañada, ¿no?, a recoger.
Sí, el primer premio ha sido, bueno, el campeón ha sido el Instituto La Puebla, ¿no?, de Vica. Bueno, pues vente que te hagamos. Oye, a lo mejor para la foto es bueno quitarlo entonces, ¿verdad?
Vale, vamos a quitarlo. Quiero poner un segundo. Una larga de aquí.
La buenísima de La Puebla, a sus alumnos, a sus profesores, y bueno, ya hemos hecho pues, para darle las gracias también al jurado, que ha hecho un trabajo intenso, pero yo creo que justo y acertado. También al profesorado, que estáis trabajando intensamente con vuestros alumnos y alumnas, pues, para que aprendan esta disciplina que me parece muy importante para el futuro de nuestros alumnos y alumnas. Y también mi agradecimiento al personal de la dirección, tanto al coordinador del plurilingüismo, como a nuestro querido Dani Prado, o la jefa de servicio de ordenación educativa, de línea, y el resto del personal que siempre han trabajado también con mucha ilusión para que este torneo de debate plurilingüe sea un éxito. Y bueno, en este caso, darle enhorabuena otra vez al Instituto La Puebla, porque tengo muy buenas relaciones, con el que conozco a vuestro director muy bien, a Francis, con encanto. Vuestro centro es magnífico, intenso, grande, numeroso, con muchísimas disciplinas. Sé que falta espacio, todo se irá dando, pero lo más importante ahora es que habéis conseguido este importante triunfo y que, bueno, por lo menos desde la escuela de mármol de Fines, de la que lo promociona estos detalles, a los que también le agradezco su participación. Bueno, lo tenéis con mucho cariño y sobre todo con orgullo, ¿eh? Del bien, del trabajo bien hecho y del objetivo conseguido, que era ganar, ¿no? Y yo creo que lo habéis conseguido. ¿Verdad? Muchas gracias.
Solo comentar una cosilla, yo me encontraba esto ya casi hecho. Nuestra compañera que nos ha preparado, ¿verdad? No podía venir, al final, a última hora, me sumó a libertarlo. Y que para mí es la que se lleva el premio, como el alumno, por supuesto. Muchas gracias.
Como ganadores. Y tienen que hablar con ustedes. Bueno.
Merci beaucoup à tous qui sont présents ici. Merci beaucoup pour parler ici pour nous écouter. Celle-ci a été une expérience incroyable et qui nous a beaucoup aidé pour dérouler notre niveau en français. Et j'espère que vous avez aussi une bonne expérience ici.
Merci beaucoup pour le groupe de l'équipe. Il est un bon contingent. Et merci beaucoup por trabajar aussi à continuar et de familiar et je vous remercie.
¿Quería hacer esta intervención? Porque suena buenísimo. Y Luis, como subcampeón, ha quedado el centro laboral, el Instituto Laboral, que es una buenísima también. También es para el Instituto de Estudios Andalucía, porque creo que todos los centros lleváis a la Santillía, ¿verdad? Ha sido donado por el Instituto de Estudios Andalucía, es una institución que depende de la Diputación y es la institución cultural más importante de la provincia. Precisamente ese aula está hecho con un catedrático almeriense, en la García Lorca, que es una referencia nacional en esta materia, y bueno, pues por lo menos que yo veo también un detallillo relacionado con nuestra provincia. Espero que lo disfrutéis. Los últimos con los que han quedado los finalistas son el Instituto Carlos III, aquí, y el Alparderal de Lera, ¿verdad? Ahí en el centro. También, claro. Bueno, a mí me gusta siempre hacer una preguntilla, sobre todo porque en inglés. I will try. My English very bad. Normally I invent words. When I don't know what to say, I invent. Normally I use the correct word, but sometimes it's invent. But anyway, I would like to know, what do you think about this debate? The theme of the debate. What do you think? What are your impressions about the theme?
The social media is good for society.
The name in English, the nest, especially the digital nest, the social media. And you say it's dangerous.
Yes.
What?
Don't get me started.
You know, but it's actually, one reason why. Addiction to the addiction. Oh, it's not my case, because I use my mobile, a very primitive mobile. I know about the dangerous. No. Well, bad boys, bad girls, because I didn't want to speak in English, and I get to speak in English now.
We can go back to that if you want.
I don't make that form, but
and I say it seems close to me that he doesn't want to say who is it.
I think that's all.
Well, now in Spanish. Congratulations. Ya en español, porque vosotros evidentemente sabéis mucho más inglés que yo. Y la pregunta la voy a hacer en español. A ver si aquí tiene que hablar todo el mundo. Si no, esto no tiene gracia, ¿no? Vamos a ver, cuando vosotros, ¿qué es lo importante de trabajar? A ver, ¿qué es lo importante para vosotros?
Pues lo más importante es que nos ayudemos los unos a nosotros, porque es igual de importante el resultado como el reproductor, como el reproductor, que nos ayudemos entre nosotros, porque si no hay cooperación, no sale.
Y otra cuestión importante también es considerar la
comunicación.
Por ejemplo, y luego la seguridad, debatir, conocer a los amigos, no mejora vuestra personalidad. Pues todos esos beneficios se consiguen a través de esta disciplina. Me parece magnífica, por eso insistía al principio de la enhorabuena a los profesores, porque entiendo que están haciendo con nosotros una magnífica labor, sobre todo para el futuro. Lo van a ir muy bien para buscar empleo, para defender vuestro criterio, en cualquier caso, ¿no? En cualquiera de las circunstancias que hay. Bueno, y así tenemos más el asunto, ¿no? Bueno, pues el próximo día contrataremos a un caja que haga el reloj. ¿No? El campeón es el Instituto de Enseñanza Secundaria. El Palmeral. Un momento, por favor. Yo creo que también los finalistas se merecen pues, un momento de gloria, ¿no? Porque